Good evening, futures traders. Welcome to Fab4Futures with Chart Gal Lori. We will be going over the top 4 market sectors as they relate to future contracts, very similar to what Dan covers in his market rundown video with SPY and NASDAQ and IWM. I throw in the Dow with YM, but just slightly different because we're still trading. So just a few different levels. Because we're getting new levels all the time because we're trading right now as we speak. So let's get it started with ES. Again, I think the 8 and 21 in my personal experience, I find that futures are very sensitive to the 8 and 21 EMA. I think you could definitely trade with the 12 and 26 or the 4 and 8, whichever set you're comfortable with. Remember, they are your edges. And these exponential moving averages respond to a lot of different algos and how they are programmed. The key is that you're consistently using your same edge and you know how to use it and how price typically corresponds to your edge. That's really, really key, and not switching edges every day based on the newest guru or what you read on StockTwits. So that's just a little bit more color that I would add to the EMA story. The other thing I'd like to add for futures, I threw out some fibs last night, and you'll see fibs again today because I think and I find that futures are very sensitive to fibs. Stocks, of course, are. Futures are just more pure. They don't have the news, as much news noise as individual company names. So I just find that they're just really algorithmic and programmatic. I'll just leave that word alone. It's too late at night. Again, we'll be seeing lots of fibs. So today we're going to start with the 4 hour and go work our way down to the 1 hour on these 4 sectors because last night I covered the monthly, the weekly, the daily. We know we're low, low, low. Of course, in the monthly, we're in an equilibrium. Weekly, we're nowhere near changing trends. Daily, we could hope for a daily trend change. We're not there yet. We need higher lows before we would see that. So just to prevent any exercises in futility, we're just going to start with a 4 hour and work our way down. So with SPY futures on the 4 hour, we hit the 50 fib. Okay, so I'm drawing this fib retracement. So over here on the 4 hour, we saw May 13th. Let's start over here. We had a lower low, lower high, higher low, higher high. Then we had a trend change. And when that trend reversed, that was my starting point of my fib retracement. So when you do that fib pull down to the low of yesterday, we already got our fib retracement in 1 day. So let's just digest that information, okay? So let's go over here to date range. Okay, so from this date, May 16th to here, it took us 71 bars. Okay, so it took us 18 days to have this pullback to the low. And it took us 1 day and 20 hours to get to the 50 fib. So let's say 2 days. So 18 days to have this major drawdown on ES, and it's taken us 2 days to bounce 50%. I just want to let everyone digest that. That's bullish. And then look at this bear volume here, and then look at the bull volume here. Drinking coffee too fast to just try to stay awake and get all this done. I really want to add value to the futures channel because, again, I think it's our future, not to be cliche or corny, but I really do. So the volume has been pretty pronounced on ES futures today, and we hit that 50% fib. This is where I think the party starts to slow down, not only because of volume, but because of extension. I would look for a higher low, of course, relative to the low of the day, but y'all, we got to get a low. We got to get a low for continuation. We have to come back to these EMAs. So I have this ellipse here. Let me move that out of the way. So we got that TCG bull cross that I mentioned where we'd have to get over price to get with the 8 and 21 cross right here. And so we're above price. But remember, these EMAs act as a bench for the bulls. So the bulls are running. Let me just kind of illustrate this. So the bulls are running, and in this case, straight up, and they need a bench to rest. And this bench has to come meet them where price is. So what we want to see as bulls is we want to see just some softening here on the slope of this EMA. That way the bulls can come back to it, take a little rest because they're not on a hill, take a little rest, bounce, take a little rest for further continuation. We really want to see a little bit of softening of these EMAs, and we need price to come take a rest for the bulls to continue. If it were to go such in a straight up fashion, I don't want the bulls to expend all of their energy. So let's look real quickly on the 1 hour and 4 hour. This is RSI for ES, NASDAQ, IWM, and the Dow. So the 1 hour RSI is truly extended for IWM and the Dow, RTY and YM. NASDAQ is just now getting overbought. On the 4 hour, however, NASDAQ still has room to run. Actually, all four of them have room to run, but as you can see, NASDAQ, as anticipated, is a laggard. It got a really good oversold bounce today, and the bulls are proving themselves to be little more than an oversold bounce, but it's truly a laggard, and IWM, again, is our leader. ES caught up a little bit, then the Dow, and then finally NASDAQ is our laggard. And I want to just work with this matrix and this framework as the days go on as to how we play this with a laggard, to play laggard trades and laggard plays. So if we see three sectors running and we have a third sector lagging behind and the other three are making higher highs on the 4 hour, then go trade that laggard for a possible bull trade, and how we can just get that to evolve as traders and use that to our advantage in our toolkit. So looking really good. Our 4 hour 8 EMA is at 2790. And our 21 EMA is at 2780. I talked yesterday and we'll continue to talk about areas of support. We don't have an area of support nearby. We need these EMAs to act as that area. So I have the ellipse drawn in this area. This would be a bull flag area. If not, then we're going to have, let's see, I have too many messies, but we need a bull flag. If it continues down, then this 2770. So we have 2790, 2780. These are EMA areas on the 4 hour. If those would not hold, I would expect some type of hold in the 2770 area and then some type of equilibrium. So the size of the move we have going, we would expect a higher low, and just the size of this pole, the likelihood is higher for a bull flag. And also what bulls want to see overnight is we want to see this volume. Of course, it typically stays low without news, and we want that consolidation. We want this bull flag formation overnight. Yeah, let's go ahead and get these bulls a rest on their bench so they can have some continuation tomorrow, because we can't keep up in this upward fashion overnight. Well, I guess we can, but then to go to a straight, we broke 2800, so the next resistance is 2841.25, but I just don't anticipate that we would make it there. We would be way too extended on RSI. So on hourly, I'm just going to clear everything out now. On the hourly, we have the EMA down at 2790 zone to maintain an hourly bull flag, and our RSI is at 74. Again, we have resistance in this short term at 2815. And we really don't have support except for these EMAs, which have to be our spirit animal overnight. If we have candle closes below these EMAs, if candle closes, we have to be cautious for more than just healthy consolidation. NASDAQ, same story. NASDAQ has not made it to the 50%. So NASDAQ will be the only one that I show you tonight that did not make it to this 50% retracement. It has barely made it over 382, and it barely got that TCG bull cross on the 8 and 21 EMA. So a bull flag area would be in here, 7140, 7135 area on the 4 hour. It did not make the 50% retracement. ES did, RTY did, and YM made a little bit more of a move. We'll see that in just a second. On 1 hour, we have NASDAQ. RSI is at 71, and we would want to pull back in the 7145 area for the hourly bull flag, and hopefully this 7093, let's just say $7,100 psychological, which we know is key with futures. It really likes psychological levels. It serves as a magnet, so we'd really want 7100 to hold this retracement. And then we have IWM RTY. We hit 50% almost to the penny. So our next resistance is 1523.90. This EMA area here is 1500 and then 1490 for bull flag. We could get a retracement fully back to 1480 area. That would be more than a bull flag. That would be closer to an EMA, excuse me, to an equilibrium. We have RSI at 67. We have 1 hour RSI at 77. RTY has been the real MVP. MVP, VIP. I combined it. You see what I did right there? Okay, YM Dow. YM has reached 0.618. So it exceeded the other sectors and went past the 50% retracement from May 16th. So again, let that sink in. Okay, so we've gone 18 days for this pullback, and it took us 2 days to have a 0.618 retracement. That's bulls gone crazy. They did the coup d'etat today and said, hey, get out of our way, bears. We're throwing you. We're overthrowing you. So here we have an ellipse in the possible area that for a possible bull flag retracement. On the 4 hour, we have RSI at 65. We have 25,200 and 25,100 that would serve for a bull flag on the 4 hour. 25,000 would be closer to an equilibrium level. We have resistance way up 25,717, and as we know, we took the elevator down, and that's really helped us take the elevator back up because we haven't had a lot of resistance with the exception of this 25,218 on the way back up. And then on the 1 hour, similar areas, we have RSI at 75. And these EMAs must be our spirit guide. We have this great 45-degree slope of the EMA SOTIMA. And then we want some flattening of the EMA. We do not want to see the EMA point down. We want some just flattening, just to provide that little rest bench. Just if you're a football player, basketball player, I love sports. Just imagine all these little basketball players, they just all need to take a little seat. Come take a little seat, get a towel, get some water, before you can start your continuation on up. And take it while the bears are asleep. Come take your rest while the bears are asleep. I hope you enjoyed the Fab4Futures with Chart Gal Lori, and I will see y'all in the room.